Good morning everyone. How are you all? So today I'm here with the new chapter of class 12 physics, that is atom and nuclei, and from that I am taking today with the chapter that is atom. It is a very important chapter as per your CBSE board examination, and regarding atom you have already studied something about structure of atom in class 9th chemistry and in class 11th chemistry also. So basic things you know about this atom. So I would like to start with the progress of physics regarding this concept of atom. So when discoveries were going on and the scientists were discovering regarding the fact like how this universe is formed. You know, physics is a branch of science that deals with the laws of nature and the formation of the nature. So when the scientists were discovering, they were thinking about that how this universe is formed. ये universe किस चीज से बना हुआ है? So that time they found that there is a particle or that they termed as molecule, that everywhere matter is present, it is made up of molecule, and there are millions of molecules. They said there is millions of molecules that are present in this universe. But gradually, as the progress and the science has developed itself, so few of the scientists they worked upon it and they found that this molecule is also made up of something, right? So there is a smaller particle than even molecule, which it is made up of, right? So they gave the name to it as atom. Okay, and they said there are a fixed number of atoms which combine together to form a molecule. There were millions of molecules, and when the discoveries were going on, धीरे धीरे खोजने पे ये पता चला कि एक मॉलिक्यूल जो मिलियंस ऑफ नंबर में है वो किससे बना है? एटम्स पे, जो कि एक फिक्स नंबर में है. एंड एटम्स एज वी नो आर अराउंड 118 till date, 118 120 only, and in the periodic table we have seen they are termed as elements also, right? Different atoms, they are called as elements. So out of these 118 atoms we have made millions of molecules. Then in late 19th century, around 1898 or something, J.J. Thomson performed so many experiments. He was working on this particular term, that atom, and how it looks like, how it what is the structure of this atom. So he performed many of the experiments, and that time he stated how we will identify that particular matter contained atom. So then a concept of spectrum came into existence. We know electromagnetic spectrum, it has got different rays, X-rays, gamma rays, infrared, ultraviolet, visible rays, different wavelengths and different frequency. So the concept of spectrum came into existence. So it was found that how we will identify any atom, that the particular matter contain an atom. तो ये देखा गया कि जो भी एटम है, हर एक पर्टिकुलर एटम की प्रॉपर्टी थी that it has the ability to emit light in the form of photons, right? And photons, like for example sodium, if you take, so sodium has a ability to emit a yellow light when you will heat up the sodium. कोई भी मान लीजिए this is a matter which contain sodium, and if I want to identify that whether sodium is present in this or not, so what I will do, I will just heat it up, and if yellow light is emitted from this, that means this contains sodium. So every atom, these 118 atoms, they have their different property of emitting light by using electrons. Right? So this was all about how the discovery of atom or discovery regarding the structure of atom was going on, and in that J.J. Thomson gave his model, which was known as Coulomb-Pudding model. It is now as a historical model only because it has got a few of the failures. So he stated that in J.J. Thomson model he gave Coulomb-Pudding model. Right? What does Coulomb-Pudding model? It says that he stated that atom is a complete positive sphere, a spherical shape with positive charge on it. Right, it's a complete positively charged sphere, and electrons are embedded into it. Discovery of electron is done by J.J. Thomson only. So he said कि जो एटम है वो एक पॉजिटिवली चार्ज स्फीयर है, राइट, एंड उसके अंदर जो है इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को एम्बेडेड किया गया है as such that the total charge of the atom becomes neutral. Total charge of the atom becomes neutral. Coulomb-Pudding, we compare it with cake, we know, pudding, and we embedded coulombs or different kind of things, or in India you can say kheer we used to make. खीर जैसे हम बनाते हैं, तो खीर is a atom, और खीर के अंदर भी used to put dry fruits and all things, so they are termed as electrons. Or we can say custard we make and we embedded the fruits, different fruits in it, so that is the custard is an atom, that is a positively charged sphere, and the things which we drop into that custard or kheer, they are considered as electrons. So this was the model gave by J.J. Thomson, right? So, but later it was failed because it does not specify about the stability of the atom. That was the major reason behind the failure of J.J. Thomson model, that it does not tell about the stability of the atom, how much is an atom stable. So it failed, and then further it was discovered by many of the scientists. They were working on this particular topic, that is structure, how the atoms looks like. So the major contribution of J.J. Thomson was regarding the discovery of electron. Right? He performed many of the experiments, like cathode ray tube experiment he did. Right? From that also he makes us aware that we can transmit electricity through, or a light can be transmitted through gas particles. Later on that CFLs and all are working on that only. Right? So J.J. Thomson's major contribution was regarding the discovery of electron, and the Coulomb-Pudding model with the structure of atom he has given. So this model failed because of the stability. It could not explain the stability of the atom. फिर उसके बाद discoveries were going on. People were searching about how this atom is made up of, what all contents are there. So things was actually described by Rutherford. Right? Then Rutherford came and he proposed a model of gold foil experiment. Right? He proposed an experiment on gold foil. So this model was very important in context with the structure of atom, and it leads to the discovery of nucleus also. So Rutherford major contribution was discovery of nucleus. Right? Discovery of nucleus. So there were two people who were associated with Rutherford also. They were Giger and Marsden. Giger and Marsden. They two were the students of Rutherford only. So they performed an experiment on gold foil, on the studies of Rutherford. This is a very important experiment, right? It comes with this name also. Explain the Giger's and Marsden experiment. So you should remember this by this name also, and it is Rutherford gold foil experiment. You must have studied in chemistry. With this name only it is in chemistry in class 11th and 9th. So this is new name you must know, Giger and Marsden. They were the students of Rutherford only. Students of Rutherford. So they were associated with this experiment. So what they did, they took the studies of Rutherford and start performing an experiment. So in their experiment, they actually be very precise. And this means, like, if I give you the highlights of this experiment, so I would like to say that the material they have used, G and M. I am writing it in simpler form. Giger and Marsden experiment, G and M experiment. So what they took, they take material, a source of alpha particle. Source of alpha particle, they took bismuth. Right? Bismuth is 21483. They took bismuth as a source of alpha particle, and alpha particle, the energy with which they were releasing was around 5.5 mega electron volt. This much of energy was released by these alpha particles which were coming out of this bismuth through alpha decay. Right? Then this was the energy. So they take a gold foil also. Gold foil was taken by them, and this gold foil, they hammered the gold foil and make a very thin sheet of around 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. This much thickness was there, 2.1 into 10 to the power. As you know, gold is among the best conductor, or a metal which has the best malleability and ductility. So using that only, and it is the heaviest, it contains the heaviest atom, the atomic number is 79. So they required a heaviest atom with best malleability and ductility. So for that they took gold. The reason behind taking gold is that it is most malleable and ductile, so you can easily hammer it and make it a very thin sheet. And simultaneously it is the heaviest metal. Atom is of 79. So in a heavy atom, the things become easier to measure. So that was the main reason why they took only gold. So this was the material they took in performing that experiment. They took a alpha particle source, that is of bismuth 83214, and the energy with which the alpha particles were releasing was 5.5 mega electron volt. And they took a gold foil which they hammered and converted into a thin foil. Thin foil, even that thin that you can look behind it. Yeah, you can look through it. So this much was the thing. And they took the gold foil because I already told you that it is the most malleable and ductile metal, and a heavy atom also it contains. So they designed a setup. This is the material they took, and the setup they designed. In that setup, they did the observation on this gold foil atom when the alpha particles were bombarded on that. Now, in the setup of this, in their setup, they took a bismuth source over here, bismuth 214 and 83. Now alpha particles released out from this, right? Okay, so what is happening? Alpha particles, they are released out in all directions, right? So they used lead bricks over here as a collimator. Collimator is a device which is used to give direction to the particles. Right? That is a phenomenon. It's called collimation, and the device is known as collimator. So lead, they use the lead bricks. So जो भी particles इधर से जा रहे थे ये इनका काम था इनको absorb कर लेना, और जो भी particle straight बाकी particle को क्या कर देना, straight direction में define कर देना. That was the work of these lead bricks which work as a collimator. Right? So this was the source, lead bricks they used. Then they bombarded this on the thin foil of gold, and they projected a screen over here made up of zinc sulfate. This was a gold foil. So they placed a screen over there, and on this screen, basically, they used a detector which is rotating. They use this way. Okay. So this is what actually the setup of experiment was there. So this was the work of detector. I was telling you this detector is a rotating detector. So whenever the alpha particles which pass through this gold foil and strike on this screen, so there is a bright spot. And as soon as the bright spot is there on the screen, the work of the detector is to go and detect the particular bright spots. So then he counted the number of spots that come at different angles. So this is the basic setup of Gigert's and Marsden experiment. They did it along with Rutherford experiment. So they took a radioactive source through which the alpha particles were released out. Alpha particle source it is. And from this alpha particle source, they made a collimator through lead bricks he used in order to produce a streamlined flow of the alpha particles in a straight line. So he used a gold foil over here of 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter thickness, and then he used a zinc sulfate screen on which he detect the total number of bright spots along with the angle. Then in his observation he draw the conclusions through a graph. Right, that graph is very important. That is for the first time you will be seeing that graph. You must have not seen that graph before. So in his graph, So this is the graph which I was talking about. So he made the graph with respect to number of alpha particles, and the angle at which they are deflected. Right? So he found that number of particles, he can detect it easily through the detector. Right? Because there are millions of particles which were bombarding on the gold foil. So he counted, the detector counted the number of alpha particles and the angle at which they were projected. So from that observation, they concluded this graph. Now this graph, if you see, then you find that there is a decrease in the alpha particle with the increase of the number. Right? From this graph, you can conclude that number of alpha particles is inversely proportional to deflection angle. You can say. So this is the graph basically which they proposed, and they said कि number of particles, that maximum number of particles, they are showing angle that is very less angle, or they pass straight. So on the basis of this graph only he concluded. The conclusions were that most of the alpha particles passes straight through the atom. That means there is a large space which is vacant inside the atom. Right? So as the number is decreasing, the angle of deflection is increasing. As the number is decreasing of atoms and alpha particle is decreasing, the angle is deflecting. So that means there are some alpha particles or few alpha particles which show deflection from their path. So that deflection symbolizes that there is something positively charged mass is present inside the atom, in which the whole mass of the atom is concentrated, and the name they give it as nucleus. So that is how the discovery of nucleus was there. So, and he said few of the alpha particles, they show straight back, that is they rebound back. That means they must have a strike at that particular positively charged mass body, that is nucleus, and alpha particles are also positive, nucleus is also positive. So as soon as, let's suppose this is the alpha particle which is coming, this is the nucleus. So as soon as the alpha particle strikes the nucleus, so it bounces back. Because of Coulombian repulsive force, this is positive, this is also positive. So revert back 180 degree. So three conclusions, three observations he made. Observation number 1, three observations and the three conclusions we can conclude from this. Three observations and three conclusions. Observation number 1. Observation number 1 is that most of the alpha particles, they pass straight through the atom. That was the observation number 1. Most of the alpha particles, around 85%, right? Alpha particles, they pass straight. Second, few of the alpha particles. The wording is, these words are important. Few of the alpha particles, they show deflection. They show deflection, right? And third observation, a few of alpha particles. 1 in 1,000, 10,000, right? 1 million. So that shows that rebound back. A few of the alpha particles, that is 1 in 1,000, let's suppose 1,000 alpha particles he bombarded, So out of that 999, they come into this category, and one of the alpha particles come into this category. That means a few of the alpha particles, they bounce back. So these were the three observations he drew, and out of these three observations he gave three different conclusions. For the first observation, he said that as most of the alpha particles, they pass straight, that means most of the space inside the atom is empty. That was the first conclusion he drew, that atom has its maximum space empty. Right? Second observation, that few of the alpha particles show deflection. They said actually that there is some positively charged mass present inside the nucleus, at the center of the nucleus, where the whole mass of the atom is concentrated. Therefore, the alpha particle shows the deflection, and that positively charged particle they think as nucleus. So, third conclusion, he said a few of alpha particles, those who strike on few of the alpha particles, those who are bounced back. That means they must have strike on that positively charged mass, and a Coulombian repulsive force must have existed, and due to which it is completely reversed back. So these were the three conclusions and three observations of Giger and Marsden experiment. From this, they calculated the size of the nucleus, also the distance of closest approach, and a term that is impact parameter is there. So that we will discuss in next class. So today we have discussed a lot about two models, about the research and all about atoms. This is Thomson model, and Rutherford along with Giger and Marsden experiment. This is very important. Numerical is also there from the topic which I will discuss tomorrow. So you have to be very careful with that. Okay. So any doubt with this, you can comment and I will solve that out. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you so much.